He possesses a positive attitude that never quits. His customers adore him. Fellow salespeople are in awe of him. Throughout Cutco, this amazing man is a legend. He is Ed Reed, Senior Field Sales Manager and Special Projects Director for Southern California. On January 31st, 2003, Ed Reed was inducted into the Cutco Vector Hall of Fame.
It is as appropriate as it gets to put my dad into the Hall of Fame.
The thing about Ed Reed is he is all about customer service.
He's got customers that buy thousands of dollars worth, and they do it every year because they know how good the product is, and they know that my dad's there to take care of them in the service aspect.
When people buy Cutco cutlery, they are guaranteed a lifetime of service. And Ed Reed makes that promise every time he fills out an order form for a customer.
A service call starts with an attitude that says, you're a customer of ours, we want to take care of you.
There was always a service call. I mean, we'd always go calling customers, and if something was broken, we would, fix it, but there was never a real program in place. My dad started that. Kind of cool.
Ed was instrumental in devising a specially made sharpener that allows us to service a certain type of edge on our cutlery that prior to that could only be sharpened by sending back to our factory.
Ed was the first guy that developed a meaningful approach to calling on old customers and producing personal sales as a result of that.
This is a long overdue award for sure.
This is long overdue for Ed Reed.
There are so many things about Ed's personal life that are intertwined with the business life. For example, he met his wife on a sales call.
When I first started, we called on single working girls. That was our primary prospect.
My girlfriends used to say, well, you know what they say about salesmen.
He did a presentation for this young lady. She bought a deluxe carving set for her father.
He said he never sold one before, and he hasn't sold too many, I guess, since then.
The guy that was with me, Walt Gorski, she liked him more than she did me.
He was very persistent, used his sales skills in asking her out.
I knew that he was a playboy to begin with, but then most guys are.
That's how I met Maria.
Talk about a first call special, right? I mean, that's one of the best stories I've ever heard.
But I swore I never marry a diabetic. He was not a diabetic when I married him. He did not become a diabetic until afterwards.
I didn't find out till 1972. And I was on my way back from New York. I was visiting the factory back in Olean, New York.
He got really sick and started having multiple symptoms, and we took him in, and they found out that he had congestive heart failure, that his kidney was failing, and he's been up and down ever since.
There's no way we'd be having this conversation if it wasn't for her. Just no way. She has saved me I don't know how many times.
I don't know if you know, my mom works in a convalescent hospital, so she's around old people that, unfortunately death is a reality, in her business.
And she challenges every doctor. She reads everything they write, and as many times I've been in the hospital, which has been a lot, and she finds every mistake they make, and they're giving me the wrong pills and the wrong IV and the wrong everything, and she's right on top of it.
Well, I don't think it's just me. I think it's the personality he has.
He just did whatever it took. It was hard. It was hard when he was on dialysis because it takes energy out of him, but he just does it. It's just the way he's always been.
I remember very specifically thinking that how can a guy that has so many reasons to be negative be so positive?
I actually have a license to be a couch potato.
He'd always tell me about his rathers. If I had my rathers, I'd be playing golf every day. He goes, but can't do that. Got kids in college and got a mortgage to pay, and so we gotta work.
There was a show on TV one time, and it had this lady had all the same symptoms I had. She had an enlarged heart, and it was pathetic. I mean, that's all she kept talking about was how pitiful things were, and she was going to die, and I mean, it was just I ended up turning the thing off. I wouldn't even watch the rest of it.
There are a lot of things that go into being successful, and first and foremost, it's attitude.
If you're miserable, it puts everybody around you miserable. And who wants to live in that environment? I know I don't.
My dad has always done whatever it took, no matter what. And so it just changed his approach on things. He couldn't drive, so he just had somebody drive him, you know, and then he had somebody drive him until he couldn't see to write up the orders anymore. Then he had somebody write orders.
He never has an excuse for anything. He only has excuses for why he's going to be successful.
I think that Ed has been put to the ultimate test.
I mean, I've done everything in my life I want to do. I mean, everything. I have no wants whatsoever.
Ed Reed is very happy with what life has given him. He's very proud of what life has given him.
Cutco has been so good to me. I mean, so good to me.
I think that's a mark of the man.
I've had a great family, a great life, and I mean, you can't ask for anything more.
They could take both arms. He'll find a way to get knife sharpened, and he'll find a way to sell Cutco. He just he won't stop.
Just being associated with Cutco kind of lifts you up, and just to say that you're a part of Cutco because of the quality and because of what it does, it just makes you feel good. And I mean, my license plate says Cutco.
I feel that Ed was probably put on this earth to do something with this company, something related to Vector, because he has touched so many more people than he'll probably ever know.
And there's a lot of people out there that think of Ed Reed whenever they're cooking. I mean, that's really made me. I mean, I'm just known as the Cutco guy.
In celebration of amassing lifetime sales of more than $500,000, and in tribute to a truly exemplary career, Cutco Vector presented Ed Reed with the company's highest honor, induction into the Hall of Fame.
The Vector people, especially for those of you who decide to stay with Vector, I mean, we have the best kids in the world. If I'd have sat down with a Cutco order form, and those of you that work with me have probably heard this 100 times, my daughter says, stop telling people that. If I was going to sit down and order a couple of kids, I mean, I'd have my 2 kids. Anna, school teacher now. Michael, you all know Michael, and he'll be inducted into the Academy of Champions tomorrow night. You'll get to see what he looks like with no clothes on. But I especially want to thank my wife, Maria. Trophy hood. If it wasn't for Maria, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. My doctor told me, how many lives do I have? I think I'm at 7 now, where they've considered me dead. And all the times I've been in the hospital, I mean, she's been there holding my hand for I don't know how many years and how many times, and checking every record and every doctor and questioning every doctor and make sure that everything was done right. And I love you very much and thank you for everything. My wife, Maria.
Ed Reed has endured diabetes that has taken both legs, kidneys, and even much of his eyesight. But through it all, he continues to inspire those around him while providing the best service to his many loyal customers.
If you spend a day with me or a week with me or a month with me just going out and meeting our customers, Cutco customers, they're just great, great people.
Well, they're great customers because he's a great salesperson.
But as I get older here, I really don't care anymore whether they buy or not. I just enjoy going out and sharpening knives, and if I can make them happier by them buying more knives, I certainly will never decline a sale. If they're happy, I'm happy.
A member of the Hall of Fame, an inspiration to all who know him, a Cutco legend. This is Ed Reed.